Chapter 23. No One POV. Past Scene 2. So, you need to say that you don't know at what time you met her? Wilfred asked, as Aziver sighed and tied his shoes. Yeah, laugh all you want, he said, as he saw his best friend sitting in the corner mused. It's just, I've never seen you interested in a girl. All you care about is exploring and hunting, he said, as Prince rolled his eyes. She feels different. She has this mysterious aura. I want to find out more. Azivir said, as the other nodded. But you should be careful. She didn't even know who you are, he said, as Azivir nodded. Yes. She was even confused when I told my father's name, he said. She may be from a smaller terrain, Wilfred said, as the other shook his head. But she said she can't believe the stone took her to a different world. The prince frowned. Maybe Earth? No, she has magic, and they're ignoring about us, Azivir said, as he took his bag. Well, I will find out more when I meet her again, he said excitedly, as his childhood friend shook his head. Just don't get into trouble. I don't want to go around cleaning up your mess, Wilfred said as he nodded. I will. Bye, Azivir said as he climbed the window. Call me when the father requests for me, he said as he jumped out the window. His father would be furious if he found out that his son has gone to the dark forest at night. But what he doesn't know won't hurt. The king and queen barely care for their son. They only looked at him to be a future king. Azivir never had got a feeling of love and concern from his family. The only one who cared about him, truly, was his best friend, Wilfred. Once he reached the cave, he took a deep breath. It's been a half a day since he saw her, but he wanted to see her again. He walked to the other end of the cave and was once again greeted by the beautiful scenery. The sky was beautiful with stars, since it was night time. He looked around, trying to spot the girl, but she's not there. I guess we have to wait, he said, as he sat on the exact spot he saw her before. Time passed by, and the prince closed his eyes as sleep took over. He groaned and feigned his face as he felt something cold on his cheek. Stop that, he said, but he tensed as he had giggles. He opened his eyes immediately, as he met with the same forest green eyes he finds intriguing. Diane, he shouted as he sat up. "Hey," she said as she backed away and smiled. "When did you come?" he asked. She shrugged. "About half an hour ago. You were deep asleep. Did I feel like interrupting you?" she said as he nodded. "Sorry about that," he said. "It's okay," she said as he stared at her. Today she wore a very dark, almost black-green. Her long, beautiful white hair was in a ponytail, and she had an upside-down black crescent symbol on her forehead. She was wearing a full sleeve, but when she raised her arm, he saw a marking in her hand. He immediately identified it as a beating mark. "Are you all right?" he asked as he grabbed her hand and pulled the sleeve down. His eyes widened as he saw it was more than one. But I immediately pushed him away, followed by a wave of energy knocking the prince off his feet. "It's none of your business," she hissed as he groaned and raised his hand. "Sorry, I didn't mean to intrude," he said, but she was looking at him with cautious eyes. "I'm truly sorry about it, Diane. Forgive me," I said as I bowed completely with both hands touching the ground. "It's okay," she said as she looked away from him. The prince took a deep breath, scolding him for always being a curious person. He wanted to know how and why she got those works, but he knew it is a wrong move. The girl in front of him looked so guarded and cautious. "Where are you from?" he asked, trying to start a conversation. I'm not from here," she said as he sighed. An indefinite answer. "Okay, well, since you are not from here, how about I show you around?" he asked as he extended his hand. But she looked at his hand hesitantly, creating an awkward situation for the prince. "Come on, I promise you won't be bored," he said as she sighed. "Okay," she said, taking his hand. He took her out of the cave and she looked around in awe. "This place is beautiful," she said as he smiled. "It's just a forest. Don't your places have them?" he asked as she shook her head. "Nope, only red lava," she said as he frowned but still nodded. "Okay then, let's go to my favorite place," he said as he dragged her to the deepest part of the forest. "Okay, to go there, you need to pass the land of Sleipyvies," he said as she nodded confused. "They're vicious dark horses. They will attack, so be careful, stay behind," he said before walking ahead. They reached an open land filled with 8-legged black horses with completely white eyes. Azivir immediately drew his sword, winked at her, before running to the horses, making them violent. They rushed around the prince as he laughed and dodged the slappy bears. He had always fought them, so it was very easy for him, but today he was so busy trying to impress the girl, he didn't notice the one from behind. The horse hit him from behind as he somersaulted and fell on the ground in pain. Shit! He cursed as the horse surrounded him. Suddenly, a red shield appeared around him, preventing the horses from getting closer to him. She used her power and binds all the horses together before running at the prince. "You're right. They're vicious," she said as he left. "Impressive," he said as they both continued the journey. Diane wailed as they reached the waterfall. "Whoa! So beautiful," she said as she looked at it in wonder. "Beautiful indeed," he said, but his words were towards the cheerful girl in front of him. Her smile was beautiful, and it tugged on his heart. The rest of the time they talked and got to know each other. Well, most of the talking was by Azivir. Diane barely revealed her details. Azivir knew she was hiding something, but he didn't dare ask. He knew she would not tell him. After bidding her goodbye and promising to meet each other again, Diane left to her room, while Azivir made way to his palace. He had his usual motionless dinner with his parents, and then went off to bed. But unlike the other boring days, he was happy. He was counting each second until he met her again.